And welcome to the 8-Bit Apocalypse Nerdcast, where we talk about all the nerdy things we obsess over. My name is True Hegemon, and I'm here with A Clock and Lee Digital. How you doing today, guys?
Pretty good. I'm excited for today.
And tomorrow.
So what are we talking about, Cam?
Well, today, I don't know. We don't have too much. I think we're a little bit free form today. I thought we'd go with, since last week we went on a giant E3 Benger. But this week, I thought we'd start by talking about what we've been into quickly, and then, I don't know, whatever's been going on, I guess. So what have you guys been into?
Sweet. Sounds good. Oh, I have been painting my house because I'm moving, and that should be a fun couple of weeks while I stay with my parents. I don't know if I'll be in the podcast for a while because they do not have internet out in the country.
Oh. Well, we'll definitely have to plan for that. But
yeah,
aside from that,
to head in town and find some Wi-Fi.
And no one really blames you for moving. I mean, you can't really do much about that. Now, once you get into your new place, it probably will take you a couple of days just to get everything set up to where you will be able to, though, right?
Once I'm actually into the place, I can be ready same day. I plan on having all the services and internet set up probably the same day that I'm in.
Okay, that's cool. So what have you been into, Nate?
It's funny that you mentioned painting house because I'm doing a drawing on a card playmat for a friend of mine. I had to do a Castlevania theme playmat. It's been very difficult.
What, you're still doing Castlevania? You're not going to jump for Bloodborne?
You mean Bloodstain?
Bloodstain, that's the one.
Yeah, actually I'm adding the main character on it because it was requested, so she's actually not as hard to draw as some of the other characters. Yeah. It's just basically the same idea. Mentioning Bloodstain, it's made $4 million so far.
Yeah, they met their their Vita goal, so I could get the game on the Vita and it'll be cross-buy, and they're working on, I think it was their 3DS goal next.
Yeah, he said even if they don't make it in time, because there's only a little over 2 days, that he said there's still a possibility it's still going to hit. Well, yeah, 3DS
the way those games work is that they anything they make off of the game, it kind of goes to the Kickstarter. So when the game starts making a profit, then they use that profit to eventually port the game over. What those initial goals are is that's what it should be on launch or near launch.
Yeah, he just had to add, like he said, I had to laugh at one of his update videos. He's like, I just had to keep adding stuff because it was going way too quickly. Like, he's like, I couldn't keep, it was so hard to keep up with. He also released the first bit of gameplay footage on the YouTube page. Have you seen that?
On the YouTube? No, I haven't.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
It looks gorgeous. It is hand-drawn 2D art in game. It looks amazing. It's just him walking around slashing at enemies. They're just kind of giving the idea of what it might look like, and they're still working on it. They said they're gonna like change up the walk a little bit because it didn't look right to his liking. So they're working on it. Yeah, the other thing I've been keeping up with this new DC news, not dealing with movies this time around, but Bruce Timm, who was the creator of Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, Static Shock, etc., Batman Beyond. He's doing a new movie called Justice League God of Monsters, and on Machinima there's 2 shorts out of 3 that's out so far that deals with 3 of the characters, which is an alternate universe of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch about that, actually.
We were talking
it's all over Gizmodo Doctor. Really crazy stuff. Oh, man. I watched that short at work that had Superman in it. and I was like, holy crap! Like Superman doesn't shy away from killing people if it's absolutely necessary, but the way he just deals with Brainiac is just intense.
Oh, okay. So you saw that one. Yeah, that one was sad. That was really sad because you could tell he didn't want to do it, but like you said, he's not Superman, so he's able to go a little further. Um, it also shows how more desperate mankind is in that universe as well. The fact they're about to nuke over a couple million people just to save everybody else, like it was no big deal.
Well, let's consider who's
At least a
president.
couple of them were like that. So, yeah, and the Batman one also came out, and he's the Superman in this universe is General Zod's son, which is interesting. So I guess he just turned to a
Yeah,
good
he
guy.
keeps a strange aesthetic from that.
So, and then the Batman is I forget the character's name, but it's the guy who turns himself into Man-Bat, and instead of becoming a Man-Bat, he's a vampire instead, and he's Batman. I don't want to ruin his because his is a nice surprise. It's creepy. I love it. It's Bruce Timm. So, and my phone rung. Okay.
Yeah, I really look forward
That's
to seeing
not
that
important.
entire series.
Yeah, that'll be
That
fun.
movie.
Well, it's starting out as a movie, and Bruce Timm is like, if it does well, not only will he do that as a series, he also wants to do another series, which he isn't going to announce till after this is out. So, a lot of people think it's going to be another Justice League.
That'd be nice.
Like actual Justice League. Yeah, everybody's hoping for that.
Because the animated stuff is honestly better than the live-action movies for me.
Especially his stuff.
It's because it can do so much more.
Always...
The story can be better.
Yeah, it's just, and Bruce Timm is just a phenomenal writer. Like, he created Harley Quinn, which there's so many people who are fans of her. He actually gave Mr. Freeze a backstory. He created Batman Beyond, which is one of the most famous side universes of Batman ever. I mean, he gave so many he made Jon Stewart cool again. Like, who does that? He does that because he's awesome. Yep, I nerd out a little
You can
bit there.
take
I'm
such
sorry.
liberties with characters and then just have the entire fan base love it. It gives you a lot of freedom to do what you want to do.
Yeah. Me and Dan used to joke around he even made fire cool.
Actually, he did. He gave fire a fan base.
Yeah, he made her cool.
Because she's
also because of him.
She's
Killer
about
Frost
as
is popular as well.
She was about as background characters get. Fire is.
Yep. I just love his art too. Oh, it's so good. I'm so glad to see him back for at least a movie and 3 shorts.
I'd love to see some more Young Justice.
Also, don't say that. I want to so bad too, but they're never going to do it.
Do what?
And the ending of season 2, that last third, without ruining it for Dan, is so good. It might be what a tease, man. They're like, oh, this character finally shows up. And you're like, whoa!
Oh, Young Justice. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The last third of season 2 might be one of the best things in all of DC.
Season 2 is really harsh, though. Like, the first half is pretty awful. Like, I really didn't like it that much. The only reason I watched it is because I like season 1 so much, and the only thing that was killing season 1 for me was Artemis. I really didn't like Artemis.
The Begone thing was really throwing me.
The only thing is about Artemis though is that she's technically actually a character in the comic book. So is Sportsmaster. So is her daughter. I mean her sister. I mean that's what crazy. I didn't like her in that. I really felt like she was out of place. But
she didn't bother me.
That's her whole thing.
I think she plays an important role.
Yeah, I don't mean like story out of place. That would make sense. That ain't what I mean. I'm like in the storyline. like in that's in place. I'm talking about like as a comic book show, she felt like she wasn't worth being a main character. And after a certain point, she was really the main focus.
I strongly disagree. She was my second favorite character.
Oh, that's so lame.
I really liked her character. I loved her arc.
I hated
I
her
disagree with
character
you.
so much. She was so annoying. Like she was so angsty. She went back and forth on different ideals, and like it felt like they were gonna do this whole
She
dark.
is a teenager.
They're all teenagers, and that's fine. But it goes back to the bad writing of a lot of female characters nowadays. So like because she is female, she has to be this way, and that's what I felt like her character had to be. Therefore, so she is female. Therefore, she has to act this way in this situation. I don't know.
You know, if Bruce Timm was doing this, we'd be fine. We wouldn't be saying any of this.
I would I can still argue with that, but that's a whole different day.
Okay, so new Kickstarter, we're gonna get Bruce Timm to do Young Justice, and everything's gonna be great.
I was excited about
Yep.
season
There
2.
you
I see
go.
board game
I was
spin-offs
excited
and
about
video
season
games.
2 because I was like, hell, I was like, yeah, Beast Boy's in it. Like that's really cool. Yeah, I mean his origin story and that was really interesting too, like how they did it in this one. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But like, like everything leading up to the story actually starting in that season is a little harsh.
I agree, but once you finish, you'll understand why. That's why I said the last third of the season
what-
is like one of the best
What
things
won
in DC.
what won Young Justice over for me is like the dynamics of them living together and going on missions and stuff. That's what I really liked about the first season because it reminded me like a better Teen Titans. And the second
Yeah.
season they removed all of that completely, like entirely. And that's what made the second season a really hard adjustment.
Yeah, because it's a one arc story. Is why I agree. I see what you're saying because that's technically true. I agree with you on that, but it's because they're getting ready for what it looked like. I felt like it was a setup until the end because there is some big stuff that happens towards the last half. But I can't say anything because it's very spoilish, and it's worth watching just to see the last half.
Well, okay, you know
Where
what?
they introduce a handful of new characters.
Well, here, let me ask you this: Does she go red? Does she go full Red Martian? That really
Yes.
No.
because
Yeah, she does.
yeah, in the storyline. In the storyline of the actual comic book, the Young Justice comic book, one of the big turning points in the storyline, one of the biggest events, is that she's a Red Martian. She's not a Green Martian, and eventually
she finds out she's not a Green Martian. There you go. That's a big part in season 2.
Well, the thing is that in
or was that in season 1?
that season 1, she finds out she's a Red Martian, but in the comic book, her Red Martian portion of her takes over. And that's one of the
No, they didn't get to that point yet. I think that would have been season 3.
Because that was one of the most
They set it
interesting
up,
stories in the Young Justice comics. Is that like all of a sudden Red Martian is a temporary bad guy, and that was a really cool thought. I think.
They hint to it for the next season, but obviously there is no next season because DC's stupid.
It's like it was like the whole Teen Titans thing. Like in Teen Titans, the whole time they're hinting towards Raven finally becoming the bad guy, because she's eventually supposed to be a bad guy. But I
want to tell you so bad who becomes the main character so bad. I know Jared knows what I'm talking about. It's a character we've seen an animated series of already. Oh man.
Yeah, Static Shock does.
I was like, wow. Do you know this?
Dude, you already spoiled that for me like months ago. You just said it straight out loud without even me asking. I knew he was in the series.
Oh.
Just like I knew about all the Captain Marvel parts. That's the whole reason I'm watching this. I've been watching the show so much is because that's one of the reasons I like this.
Captain Marvel's so good.
Shazam is one of my favorite DC superheroes, and he gets spotlighted in that anime quite a bit. I mean, in that cartoon.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
I wanted a season 2 so bad because they're gonna have so many other things show up. It's the same problem I had. It's the same thing with Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes. Like once you find out like all the stuff that's going to be in season 3, it just makes you really sad. Like they're going to bring in the X-Men uh, and Hercules and all kinds of characters, man. Like it happens
Hercules is such a
so
sad
much
piece
though.
of character.
Which is actually exciting because the new series, what's the new one's called? Avengers Assemble. They got signed on for a season 3, and Ultimate Spider-Man got signed on for a season 3, which is really good because those shows have been getting just nothing but better.
I agree with the Avengers. I can't stay on Spider-Man because
I don't know. I
stopped
think
watching it. 'Cause
I
couldn't
like
stand
the Ultimate
voice.
Spider-Man cartoon. The
Yeah,
only thing is
exactly.
you just definitely cannot marathon it because it is just it is way too much Deadpool style Spider-Man. But that's what makes it unique.
Oh, I just hate it.
It's what makes that series unique, though, and I like how many times they reference other characters and other heroes, and like one of my favorite scenes of all time in that show will always be when Nick Fury's Spider-Man just got done busting a villain. He was like a villain like Adhesive Man or something really lame. I can't remember his name, and he gets done busting him, and the street, everything around him, completely trashed. And Nick Fury lands next to him. He goes, "You're not a hero yet." And Spider-Man goes, "What? What are you talking about?" Nick Fury goes, "Really? What do you think Captain America would have done?" And he imagines like Captain America fighting the same guy. Captain America walks up in his vision, walks up to the guy, throws a shield, punches him in the face. Shield hits him, ends the thing, catches the money, and the villain is stopped. Like no damage, nothing. And it's just an immediate badass moment. And then Spider-Man looks around to see what damage he's caused, and he's like, "Oh, I think I see your point."
Yeah, I like him in the Hawk moments. Those are funny.
When he meets Wolverine
Like
in
when
the
he has to
series is
hide the-
epic. When he meets Wolverine,
Yeah, that's funny too.
Wolverine freaking hates him.
He hates any character that talks way too
And
much.
the Deadpool,
He hates Deadpool so much.
the Deadpool one was pretty amazing too. I did like the Deadpool episode. And I don't really go for anything Deadpool, but I did like the Deadpool episode.
I feel like that episode was necessary though, because it's like everybody's like, oh, he's so much like Deadpool, and they're like, that episode's like, no, Deadpool's way worse.
It's like, all right, we gotta set the tone with Deadpool and Spider-Man because this is not right.
Even Spider-Man makes a joke about it. He's like, dude, I thought I was bad. Oh crap! I don't even know why we didn't bring this up. Did you guys hear the news about Daredevil season 2? The big news yesterday. That was
Yeah,
revealed by,
Punisher.
I don't know the
Punisher. He's
yeah,
got an actor
Punisher
and everything.
is officially announced and cast. He's being played by Shane from The Walking Dead. Which I was like, yeah, he plays crazy well. We know for a fact. I don't think his casting's been confirmed, but it's been confirmed that Punisher is in the series. So he's going to play a major role in it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, which is great. Everybody wanted it. We got it. Marvel delivered. I want to see Punisher kill some people. It's an awful thing to say, but that's what he does.
And he doesn't do it nicely.
Nope. He's really good at it too. He's like the scary, like he is like the scariest, one of the scariest people in the Marvel universe, and he's a dude. Like he's just a dude with guns. He's a crazy
And
dude.
conviction. Don't forget.
Now, yeah, I'm really excited about the Punisher being a part of Daredevil because everybody's like, so Punisher is gonna be a bad guy in the series? I'm like, 100% definitely bad guy against Daredevil because even in the comics, there's nothing, there's no other way to put it, man. I mean, those two guys do not get along whatsoever.
Yeah, according to how Daredevil looks at him, he's an inconvenience. Like he'd be doing a mission, like he'd be like.
Yeah.
Doing his hero thing, and then the Punisher shows up, and he goes, "Ah, crap! Now my job just got harder."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't look at Frank Castle and go, "Oh man, he's totally gonna help me."
No, because he's like, Daredevil's like, yeah, I really just want to put these guys in jail or in prison, and you're definitely going to kill them.
Yeah, and there's even times where he butt heads with Luke Cage as well. So, and he's scary. He gets beat up a lot by Captain America as well. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but he's beat a lot. He's beat a lot of heroes too.
Yeah, well, it's because he respects Cap so much. He does. I honestly don't. I think he's holding back when he fights Captain America.
Well, let's
He
just
even
think
tells
about
him, like,
Captain
I
America
respect
and
you.
how powerful he is.
What's that?
You don't have to hold back against Cap.
No, yeah, no, it ain't that at all. I think I think it has.
Psychologically, he does though, because he has so much respect for him as a person. He doesn't, like, in the comics. You could tell he's holding back, like, because he can easily just shoot him in the face, but he doesn't.
If
He
Captain
always fights
America
him fair.
if Captain America could easily be shot in the face, he'd have been dead a long time ago.
Through that, I'll give you that. Even though he did it in Punisher versus the Marvel Universe, where he kills everybody.
Okay, you can't take
It's a good
those seriously
story, yeah.
because you did Deadpool against the universe, and he wrecked everybody.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Those comic books are really just supposed to be like a what if, like kind of like.
I know, but they're fun.
They're just a what if. Like, okay, so in this situation, death battle rules happen. Let's show you how powerful this character could be and how they could potentially, win this fight.
Shout out! No. Death Battle. Some of those are bullcrap.
So what I've been up to lately. Thanks for asking, Nate. Is
What have you been up to, Dan?
a lot of Minecraft. Definitely been playing Minecraft a lot on the PS4. Yeah, I
Get
gave.
that PC version.
Okay, I'm getting to it. I'll definitely be on the PC version again eventually. And then
You gotta complete the collection.
no, I still need the Vita version, and I refuse to buy the mobile version. And I don't own an Xbox One, so that's off the list. No, and then Street Fighter has been having its patches for Street Fighter 4. Still kind of waiting for those to all go through because it's a bit laggy. And then even more so, Tanya came out for Mortal Kombat, I think, last week. Been playing with her some more. She's tricky to play, but she's really fun. I would definitely not write her off anybody's list. But other than that,
He usually has the longest combo in the game.
she has a really long one, yeah. She's got some really brutal hard ones.
Which character?
Tanya from Mortal Kombat 4. They just released her like last week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got some pretty awesome combos. They look really cool too because you have to do a lot of her style of teleporting, which is a non-hit style teleporting.
It's funny too. She's the one I was least excited about.
That's everybody. Everybody's
She's
least
actually
excited
not bad.
character. It was Tanya. No. Everybody's like, oh, I totally want to play as Predator, play as Jason, play as Trimmer. Not a single person I've ever heard go, yeah, let's play as Tanya. And now that Tanya's come out and I've had time to play with her, definitely I can dig playing with her. They made her very unique. I thought they were just gonna make her like this generic boomerang character that they said she was in Mortal Kombat 4 and just not like upgrade her that much, because we already got to see some of her moves in the story mode when you fight against her, and then the modders, but they didn't have her. What are they called? Specialties or her styles, I guess you could say. But each one of her styles, just like with Jason before her, have been very unique and fresh to the game. Got a style where she throws powder on the enemy, and then one of her moves throw powder, and then any of her fire moves set the powder off. Another one where she uses a naginata, and she can stand on top of it, bounce around with it, poke with it, do a bunch of move with it. She can do like this stripper pole fall with it. And then her third one is like what you would imagine her using is her like Tomfa with the axes on them.
You know what? One of the alternate costumes. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
No, you're good.
I had a quick thought. Jason, a fun outfit they could throw in there for fun. They need to put the NES outfit in. Where he has the blue mask.
That'd be pretty fun. Well, I mean, when you change Jason's style, his mask and his shoot changes a little bit. So, like when you put on his,
Oh yeah.
when you go into his resurrection, it's like a metallic reflective mask, and then he has the chain around his neck.
Yeah, which is from 5, which is actually from 5 or 6, I believe. Yeah. So I didn't mean to interrupt. It was just a quick thought.
No, you're right. That's one thing about Tanya is that only one of her. I mean, her builds do change her visually, but they're not as dramatically as some other characters. So like,
yeah.
Well, her pyromancer build, the one where she lets you set crap on fire, she has like these lit up tattoos on her. Her fatalities are pretty cool though. I gotta say her fatalities aren't too bad.
Yeah, I like the one where she like goes through your body.
Yeah, she goes through your body and comes out wearing your intestines. That was very unique.
It's so really gorgeous.
Well, that got really derailed.
No, well, let's see. So what else has been going on? I know that Plants vs Zombies announced their new game was going to be
their
announced.
Second FPS.
Yeah, I like
Warfare 2.
Yeah, Garden Warfare. Garden Warfare was one of my favorite games to play on Xbox 360, and I got it for free on my PS4, so I plug it in once in a while and play it. I love that game. A sequel would be excellent, especially since that is such a low-cost game. I mean, when it came out on 360, it was $30. That is awesome for a full game.
Yeah.
It had more to do in that game than Battlefield 4 did on day one. And that's saying something.
So waiting for an old school sequel, like a console sequel to the first game.
I wouldn't hold your breath because the second game had a sequel, but it's a a free to play game.
It's a mobile game. Yeah.
It's free to play. That's the big draw to it, and it's okay. It's not as good as the original.
No, it's not.
But no, Garden Warfare 2, totally be down for that. I kind of hope it'll still be a $40 game on PS4, so I'd be really up for that if that was true.
Well, I saw that Last Guardian announcement as well, mentioning E3 stuff.
They say it's officially going to be at E3.
Yeah, it's on. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, they said they will talk about. They will make.
No, they were gonna make an announcement about Last Guardian. They didn't say that was gonna be positive or negative. So either way, we could be losing.
Well, either way, I'm okay because I'd rather know.
I really
it's like, am I getting it or not?
Part of me really hopes the news is like, just to spite Pete Dorr and all Gen Gamers. Like, the news is we're still thinking about developing it. I really hope that's what they say. Because like,
that'd be such a dick move.
Because I know for a fact
I
know for a fact he has to be at least a little excited because every time they say there's going to be news on Last Guardian, he freaks out a little bit and he can't stop talking about it. I really, 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 really hope that's what they say just to like wreck him.
Just to wreck Pete, yeah. Let's see. This Sunday, guys, we get to there's Bethesda's conference. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, nothing important's gonna happen then.
Yeah, nothing. Well, let's go to the next topic then.
And we kind of killed the Fallout stuff last episode, so I'm more excited at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm assuming Fallout is a game I'm going to buy, pre-order, purchase, and gawk about when it gets closed. Right now, I'm
Day one. Yeah.
I'm really interested to see more on Doom. I really want to see more of the new Doom game, so I'm a little bit more excited about that.
Let's admit,
Yeah,
all three
apparently
of
Doom's
us
gonna have
only
this
had to see.
big thing for it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some Doom. But with the Fallout thing, all we needed to see for all three of us is the title Fallout 4 and it's announced, and that's it. We would have been sold. We would have bought it. We wouldn't care. It's like their track record's like, oh look, Morrowind. I love this game. Oblivion. I like this game more. Fallout 3. I like this game even more. And then Skyrim, you're just like your mind explodes. And then I'm like, well, if they keep going that route, obviously this is going to be better than Skyrim. So it looks great too.
I can't wait to see what awesome glitches it's going to have on day one.
Oh, I know. I hope I see some backwards flying dragons.
Like they didn't even write dragons in the game. It's like a car graphic, like crumbled up, and it just happens to look like a dragon flying across the screen.
No, the car thing happens to you again.
Yeah, that would be
Tell
amazing.
that story, Dan.
So like on Fallout 3,
Jared needs to hear that.
Fallout 3, there's a glitch I hit every single time I play, and I can recreate it. I can definitely recreate it. When I play Fallout 3, if I jump on a car, it flips into the air about 5 feet, shoots me up, and explodes. 100%.
Oh, exciting.
Not 100% of the time, but I can recreate it. I don't know what it is. I really wish I knew what it
Killed
was.
the super mutant with it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Like you would think.
It was so awesome.
You would think it's because the car was getting shot or because there was too much damage on it. But like,
No.
no, it's me jumping on a car, just jumping on a car.
It is and it's like it just flies and explodes.
And
he used it as a grenade once on the super mutant. It was great.
The craziest part about it is that there's like a bus in front of the Super Duper Mart or whatever that's called. At the beginning of the game, there's like a bus in there, and I was getting bored one day, and I was like trying to get on top of the bus. Well, I jumped on the car next to the bus, and it shot up in the air, but it didn't explode, and I landed on the bus. Then the bus shot up in the air and killed me. Like, the momentum, the bus didn't explode. I don't even know. I'm going to have to record some footage of that, because that would be really funny. Just show that.
Just put a 5-minute montage of you dying a bunch of ways from the cars and put it on our YouTube channel.
I want to try to get it to where
good.
the cars don't explode and they just shoot me in the air, because then I could shoot the fat man below me to get some extra distance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Try to see if one can shoot you up the timpani.
I've been on top of Timpani Tower before. That's what the fat man can do to your body. To your body, not actually live.
And there I go.
Oh.
It's like Skyrim and the giant trolls. There's this Swedish blogger. She's cracking me up because all he would do is he would go into every town and just mind control all the children, and he would summon the children to attack the giants, and the giants would just look down at the kids and like, boom, and you just see it fly off into the sky. You're like, wow, didn't know I was raising an astronaut.
That's amazing. Yeah, the first time the giants killed me and I went flying to the air, I'm like, there's got to be a way to abuse this. Like,
you can guide bandits and stuff that way and have them accidentally hit a giant and then kill them for you.
Now
That's what I do.
I have been killed on a bandit's body returning to the earth before. That has definitely happened. So I mean, that was really funny. But Skyrim, man, it's got some wicked glitches too. I mean, the backwards flying
Yeah.
dragons are definitely one of the cake toppers. But man, the most frustrating glitches were the ones were the ones with the Daedric quests. It's like I felt like
Oh, the wobble jack.
they're so random when not the Wabbajack, all the Daedric quests had a glitch at one point or another. There wasn't a single one of them that didn't have a glitch or you could get locked out of. Some of my files are still locked out of some Daedric items. I don't have a single file that can collect all of them. I happened to fall into one glitch where if you started the Red Eagle quest out of order with the Dawnbreaker quest, then you could trigger neither quest. So I was locked out of the Red Eagle and the Dawnbreaker on my first file. On my second file, I'm locked out of 4 of the Daedric items, but I have the Wabbajack. The Wabbajack works perfectly. I have Mehrunes
That
Razor.
was the only one I had problems with at first, but once I reloaded it was fine. But when I played through the game again to get all of the achievements, I didn't have any trouble with any of the
Well,
quests.
even my newest character, because I have started one recently since since the game's pretty much is going to get patched. Even my newest character, I still run into glitches. I fell through the first town, the first major town, castle town, Windhelm. I fell through the ground and died. I avoid that section of town now because now I know that spot's there.
That sucks.
But I know what it is. I do know
Good
what it is that causes the Bethesda games to be very Bethesda, not just Bethesda, but Grand Theft Auto and most of these any game that has NPCs and events happen not on a schedule, like maybe not on a schedule or a sanctioned time, but like at random intervals or at certain times of the day. What it is that when your files are generated and you first start them, a random number is picked basically for your file based off of a certain number of circumstances. And on those circumstances, all the characters are given a path that's based off of that number. All the events are given a path that's based off that number. Sometimes it even affects the code of the world. Like with Fallout 3, my cars. Now, my cars is a little unique, but I think it might be tied to how I create my characters. But you can oftentimes get the same glitch on the same file if you create the file, save the file at the last portion of a Bethesda game, but when it says, "Are you sure you want to be this character?" and then see if you get the glitch, and then if you make a file on that one again, you'll oftentimes get the same glitch that's caused on it. It's just because of that number that's generated on your file when you create it that it goes in. So, for example, at one of Ashley's first Skyrim files, she got a glitch where the carriage would just ram into the wall at the beginning of the game before you even get to control your character, and you can't do anything. And we had kept trying to access an autosave on that file that took place, right at the beginning of the game, like when it first saves your file down, and every single time it would do that. In order to create a save file that didn't do that, we had to close the console completely down, delete those save files, and then create a brand new file, and it worked perfectly. So the number generation must happen from the moment you turn the console on, you hit new game for Skyrim, which would make a lot of sense. But I can only imagine how difficult it would be to troubleshoot a game before launch, like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, even the Fable series. How hard it would be to troubleshoot those games before they come out without having people making millions and thousands of randomly generated numbers, characters, and scenarios.
It would be pretty tough.
It's just infinite number of possibilities of your game just not working. And then speaking of all those game series, those games freezing. I don't know how many times I've had all those games just straight hardcore lockup on me.
Like Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto.
And it's oftentimes that I'm not doing anything important. But when it is something important, the rage ensues. I love those games.
Sorry. I like it.
I'm trying to take all of our favorite styles and make the avatars out of them. So I went Dragon Ball with mine. You've obviously already have Mega Man, Wii Digital. Now I've got River City Ransom for Hegemon. I think it turned out pretty good.
It looks like Dan too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, if you want your clothes to look a little different, or if you want a different pose, just let me know.
No, you're
That's
cool.
easy.
Like I
Oh,
said
okay.
with our channel before, the more artwork, the better, because then it makes our channel look full. What else? So I'm pretty excited about the new PC update on Minecraft, especially for it to trickle down to consoles eventually. The combat update, that just sounds so fascinating, because they're finally
What's the
really
update?
well, the combat update, what it's supposed to be, what was hinted and what's been talked about, is they've been talking about overhauling the swordplay combat for a really long time, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the more popular mods for the PC game is it adds more weapons, but more importantly, offhanding weapons. So you can put something in your offhand and use it while you have your sword out. So
Oh, Florentine. Nice.
this update's gonna remove the ability to parry and block with your sword, but add the ability to hold an offhand weapon or item. Now, if you hold another sword, you won't be able to swing with the offhand sword, but you will be able to still use extra items. Like you'll be able to place torches and use a sword. But more importantly, they're introducing a shield to the game, and a shield has been programmed several
Okay.
times by several modders as an offhand weapon. So that'll be pretty exciting to have a shield in the game, because I think it'll be. I'm pretty sure they'll just make it more effective, like a more effective blocking mechanic than the
Yeah,
parry, because
it feels right too.
the parry is really good in Minecraft, but a lot of people don't even realize to utilize it. But I think if the game literally just said here's a shield, use a shield, then people would go, oh, okay, I'm supposed to use a shield. That means there's blocking in the game. That would definitely tell people, yes, there's blocking in the game. Also, in the update, there's a hint at a new area, kind of like they did with the Deep Ocean temples. It's got like dark purple blocks, is what they showed in the screenshot. So we're pretty sure it's going to be the existence of a new area, a new block. A lot of people are really kind of hoping it for it to be another portal that you open to a new area. I kind of think it's going to be. I was kind of hoping. Now that I saw how well you can actually navigate under lava, if it'd be like an under lava temple, like if there was like a massive spawn of lava underground, and you had to dive into the lava using fire resistance potions to navigate it, to get into the temple, and then it has its own monsters within the temple, and that would keep it contained so it doesn't mess with the rest of the world, and it would be definitely something that's difficult to get into, because lava's in the game if you're not prepared for it in that game. I don't know. I just sounded exciting. I don't
No,
know.
it is. Because that really opens it up. So I've done a lot of PvP in Minecraft, and no one really uses the parry because it doesn't block right, and it can be hard to use if you get any kind of timing wrong.
Well, the way the parry works in Minecraft right now, and practically the best way to use it in PvP, and what situations and battles generally turn out to be, is that like in Minecraft, you either do when you do PvP, you do the like stick and hit and run, stick and hit and run, stick and hit and run, like you back forward, back forward, move forward, and that's how you do your damage, and it looks like a slap fight. But if you throw down the parry, you can randomly throw out a parry and immediately swing at the same time, because you can block and swing at the same time. You just can't move while you're doing it. So you throw down your parry, and on top of you not moving fast, you also don't get pushed almost at all when you're parrying. So you can actually keep swinging at the opponent if they decide to stay near you. And that's like that's really the mechanic of blocking as it is. And that, I mean, it's not great. That's not great. I mean, imagine if you keep a potion in your offhand and then just chuck it at the dude. Be a lot better than slow walk, block.
Yeah.
So it's a welcome change because they're, before Notch left, they were always talking about adding even more RPG elements. And the experience system is definitely a step up, 100% step up from, from what it was before. And then they added the potions and then the anvils and very cool stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing more. Oh, and the villagers, buying stuff from villagers, definitely RPG elements. More incentive to keep those guys alive. Zombie villagers, but I don't really consider that an RPG element. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, I think expanding on the villagers and making more NPCs and types of NPCs. There was a thing I read about werewolves once upon a time. Did that ever flesh out?
No, werewolves. There's a mod to add werewolves into your game, but there's no current werewolves. The newest update was the Guardians update, which added underwater ocean temples, and and they're deep sea too. Like, to get to them, you have to be prepared. You can't just like dive into them and beat them. The whole temple is underwater completely. So you have to have.
Digital, you trying to say something?
Huh?
And I think he's out. Okay.
Who?
Yeah, he was mentioning he had to go in the chat, so I think.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw. He's got to go do his thing real quick. It'll probably be a little bit, but he'll be back if he's got time. Actually, we might be wrapping it up here in a little bit. But yeah, the other thing in the Deep Ocean Temples is they added a new enemy, the Guardians, that only appear in that area. They're an underwater enemy, which is new because they don't have those already in the game. And they pretty much buddy up on you and kill you, but there's always one Elder Guardian hidden in every temple, and they're just a much harder Guardian. And then there's also unique blocks, and it's the first time in the game where Sponge is available. You can actually get Sponge. So, pretty neat.
Yeah, I've seen that you could spawn it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, you literally couldn't find it in Minecraft, in the world. It didn't spawn, didn't generate, there's nowhere. But now there is. You can find wet Sponge underground in the Deep Ocean Temples, and bring it overworld and dry it out, and it becomes Sponge. Not a whole lot of reason to use Sponge, I don't think they introduced a way to utilize it. Maybe you can absorb water and hold a bunch of water with it, but other than that, I have no clue.
I'm sure someone will find a way to make it interesting.
So you said next week you don't think you'll be able to make it?
Next week should be fine. It's the weeks after that might be an issue.
Okay, because next week we're going to be smack dab in the middle of E3, so we'll have plenty of just random stuff to talk about, like things that we like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that, or you, Microsoft, why the hell would you show a Conquer trailer and make it part of Project Spark? I hate you so much. So we'll have those kind of reactions next week, because that's the fun part about E3, is being angry at, getting excited about games that come out.
If I'm not too busy doing some last minute house stuff, maybe I'll just pop over your place and we'll go from there.
Oh, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Oh, and you should know this. It was leaked that there are sound files for Roy and Ryu from Street Fighter on Smash Brothers for 3DS. So potentially, they said there's going to be a big Smash Brothers announcement before E3 this year. So it could potentially be Ryu on Smash Brothers. I would be so excited for that if Ryu got put on. I don't care what the entire internet says. I want to spam Hadouken until you jump, and then Shoryuken. And the moment that I have somebody rage quit from me doing that on playing Smash Brothers, my life will be complete, because my two of my favorite fighting games will finally become one. Now, if we could just get Scorpion in the game. Finish him.
Good luck on that one.
Finish him. It's just his throw. He just goes, finish him. And it waits. And he rips Mario's head off, and then it pops back up on Mario, and then he flies. That's called dreaming.
Oh,
that would definitely be called dreaming. And then we still have the Smash ballot, so they might give a lot of people are hoping they give us some early results on what how the Smash ballot's doing, because there is no hint or anything of what it could potentially be winning right now. It would be really nice to get a little bit of result on what people's votes are causing right now. That'd be really cool to see, because I got a couple of hunches that Goku's pretty high and Sonic characters, but if they stick to their guns and it's as they say they is, we could potentially even get Master Chief in Smash Brothers.
What? That would be weird.
It would be super weird, and I wouldn't be happy about it. But that would be them sticking to their guns, because they said the winner of the ballot would be a DLC character that they would fight to get in the game, no matter what it's from. And as long as they stick to those guns, we could get anything. I put my vote in already. It's not a popular vote. I put my vote on the main character from Star Tropics with the yo-yo. I thought that would be fun to play as. I like that game.
A good vote.
I like that game, and it's Nintendo owned, so it isn't like it's outside of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, knowing them, they'd probably nudge something towards a Nintendo character.
Yeah. Now, it killed me when they introduced the ballot, because not too long after the ballot, when they saw that people were voting on that, people were talking about voting on them, and they had blogs about support your favorite indie game. All the indie developers have been behind, like making little campaign pictures and stuff, like vote for our character to put in there. And I know Shovel Knight's a really big one, but out of indie stuff, I would love if Angry Video Game Nerd, like his little sprite from the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, if he got put in there, that would be like a complete circle of life on NES fandom. I mean, because he's the reason why we have so many YouTube videos about gaming. I don't think it would have ever gotten as popular as it is without him.
So I've been looking at a lot of the E3 news that's been going on and what's expected for next week. And I guess they're going to have some new announcements for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, they need to show some freaking gameplay on that game. I mean, that game hasn't been in development hell for like 12 years. Although I can say it's going through less hell than Final Fantasy originally Versus 13. They actually had an announcement on on 15, I have to call it 15 now, that they finally removed the last bit of code from Versus 13 from the game. And it just blew my mind that so much of that game, they had to go through and redo that much of it, because, I mean, this is a whole other console generation they got to build the game on. Anything from Versus 13 is going to look completely outdated.
Yeah.
Versus 13 is a sob story, by the way. I don't know if you don't know what that was supposed to be and what happened. But 15 was originally supposed to be Versus 13. What they did is they took their two biggest development staffs that make the generic Final Fantasy series. They gave them each a main helm inside of Square Enix. And then they took the two development teams. They said, you're both going to make a Final Fantasy 13. We're not making a 13. We're making two different 13 games. Two different storylines. They're not tied to each other at all. Go for it. And, 13 obviously kept going. It's the main number title, so it was the one that eventually came out. But when Final Fantasy 14, the MMO came out, the first time it launched, it, because of the jerk that was in charge of it, he basically walked off with money of the game. And that's why he got fired, and there was a lawsuit and everything went on. But he screwed 14. 14 was pretty unplayable state when it first came out. I mean, there are some real troopers that played the game, and they got rewards for playing the game that early, and still be playing it today. But it was a pretty god-awful MMO, and it was a colossal failure. And if you know any company that's going to put their money into a big MMO, it's their biggest thing they're making, because of how much development a major MMO takes to build, especially one that's supposed to launch, supposed to be on par with like Final Fantasy 11, WoW, and stuff like that. or at least that's their plan. And he screwed them, so that what they had to do in order to save Square Enix from actually completely bombing is they had to pull pull all the development staff from every Final Fantasy game at the time and every game that Square Enix was doing to redo everything in 14, so that way it was a sellable product. They pulled all their development staff, saved 14. Now it's a very, very profitable game, and it's doing them well. And we finally get to see, they're finally going back and working on the projects that got pushed back, like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, versus 13. But now some of those games are outdated. The stuff they were originally developing. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 was originally supposed to be built on the same engine as Versus 13. And then they developed their own graphics engine for it, and I guess even that was outdated and too slow for them. So now they're using the Unreal Engine for the game. So all these games got pushed back really hardcore because of 14, but we're finally starting to see the fruits of them going back and redoing it, faithfully redoing it, because of how many people have been waiting for these games to come out. And 15 actually looks really good. The little demo that came out for it was really fun. And then,
did you see how big that latest patch was for the demo?
Yes, they
It was
added
nearly 4 gigs.
they patched the crap out of it. I mean, it added so much to the demo. It was insane. Oh. No, yeah, any announcement they got, I completely welcome. Plus, they're supposed to be introducing a new IP. Whatever that IP is, I'm completely down for. So Square Enix is making good decisions right now, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, whole new storyline. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we've been going on for about an hour now. Let's go ahead and bring this to a close.
Yep.
I guess I can start posting some of these sprites that I've been making. We'll find a place for them, and we'll let you guys know either through our Twitter or on the next episode.
Alrighty. And then next week or the week after, I'll put it up on the Twitter and all of our channels and everything. We're gonna change what time we stream and do this live, because I realize people have jobs.
Yeah.
All of those
So we're gonna try and tailor to you guys.
All those 9 to 5ers are definitely missing out on the ability to catch our little podcast. So go for a little bit of convenience. But other than that, I think that's about it. I know Nate's gone, so I'll say goodbye for him. You got anything else to add for the rest?
No, just looking forward to seeing you guys next time.
All right, it was fun. We'll do it again. We'll do it again next week, and talk to you guys later.
All right, good luck surviving the apocalypse.